So, hello and welcome to this special interview. I'm joined by a very special cricketer, now a former cricketer, but he was here in India back a couple of weeks back playing the Masters League. I'm joined by former England international Chris Tremlett. Chris, first of all, thank you so much for your time. And how's life? How's life? How your body feeling after playing some grueling cricket here in India?
Yeah, firstly, thanks for having me. Yeah, it was nice to be back in India as always, playing in the International Masters League, which was about a month ago now. Body's not too bad. I had a little injury actually going into the last game, but we're not as prime athletes as we used to be when we were in our twenties. But managed to get through 5 games there, pretty much unscathed. Like I said, had a little injury at the end, but overall had a fantastic time in India, and hopefully get back doing that again next year.
Absolutely, and we all enjoyed watching you again and all the legends back on the field and entertaining the crowd here in India. So it was a pretty good experience as a viewer as well. But Chris, I've been reading around you, around your life after cricket, and this property venture. How did you get into this? How did it all start? Because we remember Chris Tremlett, the cricketer, an aggressive bowler, but now post cricket life, business. How important is it, and how did you get into this property venture?
Yeah, so property was something I sort of always did a little bit on the side of my cricket career. Unfortunately, during my career, I had a few injuries. So in the winters in England, when I was recovering from injury, I guess one of my hobbies was sort of renovating property in the early 2000s and sort of built up my investments there. And then a bit later on in my career, I have my own property portfolio. And the guy who I work with, who's called Tom Jewell, I met at Surrey, and we now run a property business together called Source Investments. So we sort of formed a partnership in 2015 when I retired. And essentially, what we do is we help investors buy investment properties in the UK, and then we have a management business that lets property, which the properties that they buy. So yeah, it's quite a big transition from cricket. I guess at the time when you sort of all you know is bowling and batting for your whole career, and then I got to 34 and it's time to do something else. So rather than sort of staying in cricket, I decided to go into something else, and it was probably the best decision I've ever made, just to see what else is out there. I see the world from a different sort of perspective. But I still sort of keep an eye on cricket, and one day I hope to maybe go back into the game. But it's also nice to do these Masters tournaments, which I've done 2 or 3 times, from a playing point of view, because that's something you can't do forever. So cricket will always be, I guess, my number one love, and I was very grateful to have a 16-year career. But I found it very beneficial to sort of go into something else, and property is something I've always sort of loved along the side, and something I've been doing now for 10 years, which seems pretty crazy.
And there's a perception around UK that it has become a hub for Asian diaspora to migrate there and settle there, look for better career opportunities. So how has that helped in the property venture? Yes, people are moving out to the UK, but property wise, business wise, is that a booming sector in the UK right now? And what's your take around that?
Yeah, I mean, our business has mainly been focused around UK investors for the last probably 10 years. So we've mainly built with UK investors, but a lot of our UK investors are from an Asian or Indian background. So we have a lot of our sort of UK Indian based investors saying, we do feel like you have an opportunity to go abroad and help Indian investors invest into the UK. They have their sons and daughters potentially want to come in and study in the UK. And I think India and England, there's that correlation with cricket and everything. So we feel like, we can offer a service where we can offer UK property in prime locations around the UK to Indian investors. So we feel there's a bit of a, I guess, gap in the market there. And hopefully that's something we can pursue. And I'm actually flying to India tonight. We have an event on Saturday in Mumbai, where we'll be showing off one of our London sites, which is actually next to the Oval Cricket Ground. So we feel like there's an opportunity to help Indian investors over here in the UK. And the UK property market has been a bit quiet of late, but for me, I feel that's always a good opportunity to buy.
Pretty interesting. That's a business mind speaking right there.
Mhm.
But Chris, being a cricketer, being a known personality, has that helped you in getting that initial boost in setting up a new business and going up to your clients and building a clientele?
I'd say at the start it was quite tough because I guess I've always been known as a cricket player, so
Right.
it takes a few years, I guess, to build trust with people in a different sector.
Mhm.
Because I guess after a year or two, they're still thinking, "Oh, what does Chris Tremlett know about property? He's a cricketer." But over time, we've proved our worth. We have some very happy clients. We have about
Mhm.
500 properties under management now, which we manage. So we've been doing this business for quite a long time now, and we've gained a lot of
Right.
trust from a lot of different people. But yeah, certainly that trust is built up. And as I said, I played cricket for 16 years. I've been doing this for 10 years
Right.
now, so I'm sort of pretty experienced in this sector as well. But a point of view coming to India, I feel like I'm
Mhm.
obviously a familiar face in the cricketing world. So hopefully
Right.
that helps with me coming to India. Where I'm a familiar face which people will trust. Because we're not just some, I guess, random company coming over where
Right.
nobody knows who we are. So hopefully the cricketing side, gives clients a little bit of comfort knowing who we are, and we're a legitimate company, even though we have social proof and we've going for a very long time.
Of course, Chris is with us, and it would be unfair to not ask cricketing questions from him. But Chris, a big India-England tour, India's tour of England, right up there in a couple of months, 5 Test matches. We saw how India did in Australia, struggled there. Australia won. Although as an Englishman, I am pretty sure you did not like Australia seeing winning that Border Gavaskar Trophy. But your thoughts of this India tour of England, 5 Test matches? Is it going to be a marquee series for English cricket and for the English fans as well?
Yeah, so quickly touching on that Australia series, I've watched bits of that on the highlights, and it was a fantastic series to watch, and it could have gone sort of either way. I know Australia won
Right.
it at the end of the day, but I think the momentum shift could have gone either way, and it was great to see India really taking it to Australia in Australia, because I know how hard it is to win in Australia. Been lucky enough to
Right.
be involved in a tour where we won there, but I've also been on the receiving end where we've lost. So it's probably the hardest place to go and win a tour. But from England's point of view, I guess they're going through a bit of another bit of a transitional phase. They've lost some, I guess, more experienced players.
Mhm.
Obviously, they've adapted or adopted this sort of very aggressive style of cricket, and I think they're just trying to
Mhm.
find that balance of the right team, the right way to play. They've got
Right.
a new crop of young bowlers who are going to be tested.
Mhm.
I think they're more comfortable in their own conditions. So I think
Right.
any bowler going abroad finds that hard. But we know how strong India are at home. But also we know when they play their best cricket, they're very strong away from home as well. So I think it's going to be a fantastic series, and I'm
Mhm.
excited to see. I'm excited to see some of how the England youngsters or new breed of youngsters really step up against the pretty experienced and strong Indian side.
You talked about the brand of cricket which England are playing right now, really aggressive brand of cricket. But and yes, there's a hype around baseball and Brendan McCullum's coaching style. But where are you in this hype train? Like England, yes, they have played some attractive brand of cricket, but result wise, World Test Championship cycle wise, or winning World Cups in white ball cricket, they have not really done it since that 2019 World Cup. So, where are you in this hype train? Do you feel that this is the right brand of cricket, or do you think they should mellow down and play according to the conditions and rather look to win some matches out there?
Yeah, so I think people forget that England had a period before baseball where we were playing, I think, worse cricket, where we were playing probably
Right,
over negative cricket. So I guess we've gone from one extreme to the other. So there was a
right,
period of time where we adopted baseball, I guess, if you want to call it that, where it was as a fan, it was very entertaining to watch. The game was changing. It was great to see the ball flying around and high scores being chased down in the fourth innings. I think it was always going to happen where we were going to come unstuck a little bit, going away from home, in other
right,
conditions. It's always going to be hard to play that brand of cricket all around the world and expect to win every game. And as soon as,
right.
as soon as that style stops working, people start to criticise it. So
Mhm.
I wouldn't say I'm criticising it because I think England play better when they have almost like a fear of failure. But I think
Mm-hmm.
it's just it's finding the balance of times of when to sort of push the button of being aggressive and trying to score 5 or 6 and over, and then they have to learn to really, I guess, rein it in,
Right.
and consolidate at times, which is a learning curve. So. And especially with younger players, it's nice that they can have that freedom. I guess
Right.
as me growing up, I would have liked to have had a bit more freedom as a Test cricketer because
Mm-hmm.
there was always a bit of a fear of failure with getting out and things. And I think in this day and age with the England team, there is a bit of go out there with no fear and really express yourself. So I think from the coach and captain's point of view, that's a really positive thing for players going into the side. But over time and over experience, players have just got to work it out for themselves. Ollie Pope is a prime example of that. He's very good when he gets in, but he's very susceptible to nicking off early. So he's the type of player I think get your eye in, and then get your head, then go ultra aggressive when you're ready to go, sort of thing. So England are just, I guess, finding that balance. I think they will be pretty aggressive against India. I think they're more confident as playing that style of cricket in England
Right.
on pitches and surroundings they're used to.
Right. You also mentioned the word transition. We recently saw Harry Brook being named the white ball skipper. How do you see that? Is that the way forward, or do you think a slightly experienced option could have been picked right now as the team is going through transition? What's your take on that?
Uh, I think it's probably the right pick overall. I think Harry Brooks had a very impressive start to his career. From what I can see from the outside, he's got a very, very sort of level head on his shoulders, and he wants to achieve big things in the game with England. And unfortunately for
Right.
the IPL, unfortunately he's had to pull out. He's pulled out of the IPL. He's made a decision where I
Right.
think it looks like he wants to concentrate on international cricket. So I guess that shows his commitment to international cricket. So that maybe
Mhm.
that's a reason why they have gone down that route. I think someone like Ben Stokes may have been an option, but I'm glad they didn't go down that route because I think Ben Stokes has
Okay.
enough on it. I think he has enough on his shoulders already. Not saying he's not a great captain because I think he is. I just think if England want to progress forward with a white ball, they have to have a more longer term approach like they did in 2015. It's not
Right.
having a complete reset because we're still a good side, but when
Right.
Owen Morgan and Trevor Bayliss came in, they had a long term view of how to build up a side and how they want to go forward playing cricket. And I think Harry Brook and the management need to do that going forward. So it's I guess, an exciting transitional period of one day cricket. We did dominate for a while and won the 2019 World Cup, but
Right.
unfortunately, all teams could sort of go through cycles, and England are having a cycle where they're not playing quite as well as they used to.
And England have already been dealt with a couple of huge blows. Mark Wood will probably miss the entire summer, especially the England tour, India's tour of England, and of course there's an Ollie Stone as well who has been ruled out from that series. So, do you think with all the injuries, some of the young players finding their feet in Test cricket, this is the best chance for the Indian team to go out there and win the series against England?
Yeah, I mean, for one, I think it's a good opportunity. I mean, you know, I think England have a good crop of bowlers around the country, and some that we wouldn't have, and some people wouldn't have seen before. Even myself, I don't watch a lot of cricket, but I
Right.
hear of a lot of names, and I've seen a lot of young bowlers come in. So, and I know there's a lot of guys out there who play franchise cricket around the world. They're hungry to play for the England
Right.
side, and there's a limited amount of spaces. So, firstly, opens up opportunity for guys that are injured. It's a shame for someone like Mark Wood, but also forget that he is nearly 35 years old. He's not the youngest, so it's a
Right.
shame that he's not playing. But England still need to look forward and try and have some of these youngsters coming through because Mark Wood's not going to bowl.
Right.
95 miles an hour for much longer. So,
Right.
so it's good that they're sort of can get some new guys in the team. But yeah, I think for sure India they're going to see it as an opportunity with inexperienced players coming in.
Mhm.
They're going to try and be ultra aggressive and try and make those guys feel under pressure straight away. But that's where you're tested as a Test cricketer or one day cricketer playing at that level. It's how do you step up from county cricket into international cricket. So I'm looking forward to seeing how some of these younger guys perform with the ball and the bat against some top players, and what a team to do it against India,
Mhm.
and when you play India in the UK, it's almost like playing away sometimes because the fan base that India have here. So it's always a
Right.
fantastic place to play in England, but it's even better when you're playing against India just because the added atmosphere.
And as a former fast bowler, or even I won't say former because you have just played Masters League here,
I'm still
but
former. I'm
as
definitely a
a
former
fast
fast bowler.
but as a fast bowler, Chris, a word on Jasprit Bumrah, how good he is right now, ruling the charts everywhere. We saw the Australia tour where he was like the lone man, single man army for the Indian bowling attack. How good is it to witness the rise of Jasprit Bumrah and where he's operating at the moment?
Yeah, I mean he's in a class of his own, isn't he? Like he's fantastic to watch in Test cricket, in one day cricket. Whether he's bowling at the death in the IPL, whether he's bowling the new ball with the in Test cricket, whether it's in India, in Australia, whether it's in England, it's a pleasure to watch. So let's hope that he's sort of fully firing for those Test matches in India for those 5 Test matches. Interesting to see how much he swings the Jeep ball. Hopefully the Jeep balls swing
Right.
around this summer because you know we know how good Jimmy Anderson is when he used to swing it around. So seeing Jasprit Bumrah swing it around as well, probably at a faster pace than Jimmy Anderson, is going to be great to watch. And he's certainly going to test those England opening batsmen and their middle order. So it's going to be fantastic to watch. But yeah, Jasprit Bumrah for me is one of the best bowlers that's fast bowlers that's ever played the game. You know, he's just got the skill in every department. And he hasn't just delivered it in more favourable conditions like England, South Africa, Australia. He does it in India as well, which I know myself is a very tough place to bowl, if not the hardest place to bowl in the world.
You said he's one of the best of all time, but is he the current best right now of all the fast bowlers?
In my opinion, yes. I think when he's fit and he's firing, I think he's one of the best. I think he's great to watch. And like I said, it's not just with the new ball; it's with the death. It's his slower ball. He's got every bases covered. And like I said, he might not go on to take 500, 600 wickets, but I think he will with his record and what he does with the ball. And he's still got a lot of cricket to play. I think he's one of the best bowlers I've ever witnessed play when he's at his best for sure.
An average of below 20, anything below 20 is staggering for any fast bowler. And when we were in
Incredible.
Australia, he was operating at an average of 16. So that was simply mind-boggling to see. But again, Chris, we saw the struggles of Virat Kohli and Rohit Sharma in Australia as well. Constantly for Virat, constantly getting out in the slip cordon. For Rohit, his feet, his slow reflexes with the age, and possibly this England tour is going to be the last test tour of England for both of them. So how do you see Virat and Rohit Sharma, the kind of fanfare they bring into the stadiums and in the televisions as well? What do you think should England do to keep them silent and not allow them to score a lot of runs? So how excited are you to see Virat and Rohit, and what would be England's plan against these two?
Yeah, I mean, as a player and a fan, I've always admired people like Rohit and Kohli. How they sort of deal with the pressure day to day and what they've done throughout their careers. Yes, they've had some sort of, I guess, more negative times in Test cricket of late, but I just overall I just see them as great players, and those sort of players, their form comes in and out, and it wouldn't surprise me if those two guys go and average 50, 60 in that series, and who knows, it might not be their last series. Australia was always a very hard place to go and play cricket, and they're probably facing the best attack in the world in their own conditions. But what the bits I watched of the ICC Trophy looked like they, Rohit and Kohli found some form. They would have obviously gained a lot of confidence by winning that trophy. I know it's a different form of cricket, but that's not going to bother them too much. They're going to come to the UK. They're going to try and be, I think, ultra aggressive and play their best game against a fairly inexperienced England bowling attack. They're going to try and take it to him, and they're going to have the Indian crowd also behind them. So it's going to be great to watch. But the great players like that, you never really doubt them because you never know what they can go on and achieve, even after sort of lull periods.
And one final question from my side, Chris. Of course, India's tour of England. A lot of fans will travel here from India as well, and of course, you know what kind of diaspora we have there in the UK. So, as an entrepreneur, as a businessman, how are you strategizing your property venture around this England tour? If you can give some insight, yes, don't reveal all the trade secrets, but give us some insights on how you are planning to use that series as a marketing tool for your property venture.
Yeah, so I think we're not just seeing it as that tour. Like I said, I'm coming to India. I'm actually flying to India tonight to
Right.
have an event event in Mumbai on Saturday. So I'll be traveling to India quite a lot. So
Mhm.
showing face in India, coming to meet Indian investors every month, every 2 months or so. But it's going to be great actually because the site we're working on at the moment is actually the gas holder scheme, it's called, which is next to the Oval Cricket Ground. So
Mhm.
the Indian team and the Indian fans will get a glance of the site because obviously everyone knows the Oval Cricket Ground, how much of a
Mhm.
famous ground that is. They played the last Test match there, so you'll see these apartments being built in the gas holder scheme. But yeah, we won't be necessarily trying to market or target our business during this Test series.
Mhm.
But you know, over time we're going to be spending a lot of time in India, and we look forward to meeting many Indian investors over the next oncoming weeks and months.
Superb, superb. Some great insights around cricket and business as well. And from our side, we wish you the best, Chris, around your visit to India and how you are building this business around your name and of course around the properties in UK as well. So best wishes from our side and hope it excels. It keeps on excelling in the near future as well.
Thank you very much, and thanks for having me.
Thank you so